I have for you today perhaps the single greatest announcement tweet you've ever seen. I know you think that all those excellent transfer announcement tweets you've seen before or various other announcement tweets you've seen before in the world of soccer or football or whatever, they are great, right? And there are a lot of ones that are in the Hall of Fame of announcement tweets. But no, here, documented for historical, for posterity, that's the word I was looking for, documented for posterity, the funniest, stupidest, maybe worst one ever. But you need a little background context before you can actually just go in and start watching it. All right, you just do. You need a little background context. The background context is that the NWSL is the Women's Soccer League. I promise this, we're not going on a women's football rant today. This is just about a really stupid particular announcement, but that's what the NWSL is. And it is relevant to this story that it is made up of women, right? And then they are having a new team created in Boston, right? Boston, one of the biggest cities in the United States, did not have an NWSL team. I didn't know that they were getting a new one. This isn't something that I'm like particularly clued in on, but then all of a sudden people started asking me if I could watch this new team's announcement trailer. Like literally the announcement trailer saying, we're this new team, we're here, we start playing this season, let's go Boston, rah, 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 right? And I was really curious because I feel like most of the time when, a new club is founded in NWSL or even MLS or, people aren't really asking me to watch that trailer. So thank goodness, because the trailer has now been deleted. I have not refreshed the page. So this is one of those moments where I have managed to start recording this video at exactly the right time for historical posterity because I have not refreshed the page and I have the video for you right here. You can probably tell by the fact that it has nearly 400 comments and only 800 likes that this was definitely a bold artistic interpretation of how to announce a new women's football club in the city of Boston. But without further ado, for posterity, I will provide you this video for your consumption.
Boston, the city of champions, a legacy filled with trophies, banners, rings, and balls. Old balls, new balls, steel balls, cold balls, even goat balls.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Boston loves its balls. But maybe there are too many balls in this town. So let's add a new chapter to our city's legacy. With new idols, new dreams, and a new league to cheer for. The National Women's Soccer League.
Sorry. Hold on. All right, so the announcement trailer, right, is them saying that Boston's the city of champions, and it also has one other thing: balls. You know what we don't have? Balls. The entire announcement trailer for the NWSL team that is appearing in Boston is basically, you know what this city needs? Less balls, which I find incredibly ironic because they did like, what was it, the cold balls? It's not a ball. It's a puck. And I realized, am I being overly specific? Yeah. Does it matter? No. But to try and make it like anti-sphere argument here, when you play a sport that is very literally defined by the fact that it is like played with a ball, right? Like that's the whole point of soccer in the first place. Very interesting marketing decision. Okay. Now, a lot of people have reacted to this by absolutely flaming them for this announcement trailer. And I think that is also way over the top because if we want to assess our goals here, right? If you are announcing a new club in Boston, what you want to do is have people actually talking about that club. And the surest way to have nobody outside of maybe the Boston area talking about the club at all is to do a very straightforward, normal announcement trailer that is very much like, yeah, we brought women's soccer to Boston and we're going to compete for championships and join the great Boston sporting heritage, right? And that's not going to get retweets. Nobody's going to reply to that. Nobody's going to care about it. Nobody's going to ask me to watch it. So if we're assessing this purely from the goal of the club itself, trying to reach as many eyeballs as possible, making a balls joke out of your announcement trailer for a women's team is hilarious. That was funny. I don't know if they actually got Tom Brady to agree to this or if they just edited him into it, but the goat ball thing.
Balls. Even goat balls.
Wait.
That's Tom Brady, for those that don't know. Widely considered, the greatest American football player of all time. And he played in Boston. And so now we're talking about Tom Brady's balls specifically. Tom Brady's balls. We've got, steel balls from the champion Boston Celtics here. We've got old balls. They show like the old Boston Red Sox here, and new balls where they show a couple of the new young stars in Boston sports. Look, I get it. I get why people watch this and went, this is just really stupid, right? And it is really, really stupid. But it's funny, and it got a lot of people talking about it. Now, there are some fair points that are being made by people that are shitting all over this. Obviously, to the point that NWSL Boston has already tweeted out an apology letter for this video, right? And they have, that they went for it and they missed the mark, and right. And we'll go through a couple of those points. One, it is like something that I feel like women's football, women's soccer is trying to separate itself from, comparing itself to men all of the time, like trying to be its own super awesome, super cool thing. Maybe there's better ways to do that. Not that I'm somebody that works in media for a living, but I guess I kind of am. You could have had a young girl going to Patriots games, a young girl going to Bruins games or Red Sox games, and then kind of dreaming of being able to do something like that someday. And then you fast forward that commercial, and all of a sudden she's playing for NWSL Boston. That would have been a sick video, and that would have been one that at least garnered a good amount of attention if it's very well made. Be like, oh wow, this is a real tearjerker or something, and it gets in the right direction and goes in maybe the direction of women's empowerment, right? I get the argument that some of those people are making, being like, oh, it's a little weird to try and set your entire team up as like the entire sales pitch is, we don't have balls, come watch us, right? But as this top commenter here points out, there is apparently a professional women's hockey team already in Boston, so giant fuck you to that. To that team, that you're basically like, well, the one thing Boston doesn't have, not balls, right? When you already have a at least semi-professional women's sports team playing in Boston, representing Boston in a league. But perhaps the biggest issue that you can have with this is in the last 20 seconds, which I didn't show you, but I will.
For every person in every neighborhood across every square mile, this is our city, our new team, our new nation. We are Boss Nation, where anything is possible. No balls necessary. Well,
I mean, objectively, the little joke at the end is also funny. But the biggest crime here is not the fact that they've gone for testicle jokes for the entirety of their announcement video. The biggest crime here is that the club is apparently named, as you can see at the top of the tweet, Boss Nation FC. Why? 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 That's the crime here. The crime is not the ball jokes. Fine, you accomplish the goal. It's funny. A little crass for a public-facing institution like this, obviously, but who really... I don't really care about a lot of things. I feel like people get way too worked up about most things. To me, this doesn't meet the criteria of something that I would need to get way worked up about. You just have a laugh about it and scroll on to the next thing, and now there's an NWSL team in Boston, which again is their initial goal. But what I would love to forget is that the name of that club is Boss Nation FC. I would love to yeet that right out of my mind, because that's the dumbest name I've ever heard. That is up there with Real Salt Lake. But you know what? Honestly, Real Salt Lake sounds cooler than Boss Nation FC, right? Because Boston, dude, it's Boston. You're in one of the biggest cities in the United States. You can just be Boston, all right? There is no Boston FC or Boston SC or any other sort of, like Real Boston in MLS. It doesn't exist. It's called New England Revolution, which is also a cool name. But you could have just literally been Boston FC. That's not a thing. Now, maybe somebody has that trademark and you weren't able to get it. But Boss Nation, it's just a really rough name for an actual football club. Like, you can't, I don't know. I just don't like it. I don't know. Like, I struggle less to understand how the name Boss Nation FC gets through the approval process. I struggle to understand that more than how this announcement video gets through the review process. I get how the announcement video gets through, the whole impressions thing, but Boss Nation FC. I mean, be Boston. Be the Boston, you know, I don't know, the Boston Green. You can come up with a bunch of, if you need to have a nickname because it's an American sports team, then you can find a nickname. Boss Nation FC. This sounds like the sort of team that would be competing in one of those like celebrity-driven 5v5 leagues. This doesn't sound like a legit team that's going to be sending players potentially to the U.S. women's national team for a World Cup. Like, oh, where do you play? Boss Nation FC? Come on, man. Really? The video, outrageous. The name, also outrageous, but like kind of in a different way.